She didn't just walk away from what you had together. She walked away convinced she was upgrading. That's the part that cuts deepest. When a woman ends things, she's not sitting in her car second-guessing the decision. She's not lying awake at night wondering if she made a mistake. In her mind, the equation balances perfectly. The path ahead glows brighter than anything behind her. Every possibility feels wide open now. Maybe someone specific is already in the picture. Maybe it's just the intoxicating idea of something more electric, more intense, more real than what existed between you two. She's running toward what she believes is better. And in that moment, she's absolutely certain about it. Now here's where most men light themselves on fire trying to prove something. The texts start rolling in after midnight when the loneliness hits hardest. Paragraphs turn into essays about every beautiful moment you share together. You find excuses to stay connected, to remain visible in her world, to show her you still exist. Each message feels necessary in the moment. Each one feels like it might be the thing that makes her see clearly. But every single attempt produces the exact opposite result you're hoping for. Instead of making her pause and reconsider, you're basically handing her a signed certificate that validates her exit. You're giving her evidence that she read the situation correctly. Because when she watches you unravel, when she sees you can't stand on your own 2 feet without her, it confirms that quiet doubt she had before she left. That gut feeling that told her something wasn't right, you just proved it was accurate. Think about what that looks like from her perspective. She made a decision based on a feeling that maybe you weren't as strong as you appeared, that maybe the relationship was holding you up instead of you holding it together, that maybe she needed to find someone more grounded, more self-sufficient, more complete without her. Then she leaves, and within days, you're falling apart in her messages. You're proving that without her, you lose your center. You become someone who needs her validation to function. She doesn't feel guilty when she sees this. She feels relieved. Relieved that her instincts were correct. Relieved that leaving was the right move. But there's something about breakups that most men never stick around long enough to witness. Something that happens quietly, months down the road, when you least expect it. The same woman who walked away with absolute certainty sometimes reappears like a ghost from another lifetime. No warning, no buildup, just a message that lands in your phone as if the past 6 months were nothing more than a brief intermission. No grand confession waiting in that message. No tearful admission that she destroyed something beautiful. Just something light and casual sliding into your notifications. Hey stranger, saw something that reminded of you. How's everything going? As if the entire breakup was just a minor interruption. As if she didn't spend weeks convincing herself you weren't enough. So what actually shifted between then and now? What changed from the day she looked through you like glass to the day she came back fishing for connection? Here's what nobody tells you. It wasn't some sudden emotional awakening. It wasn't love flooding back into her heart one random Tuesday. The answer is far more practical than that. Reality finally showed up and introduced itself. When people abandon relationships, they're placing a bet against their own history. They're gambling that whatever comes next will outshine whatever they're walking away from. The fantasy always looks flawless from a distance. More passion, deeper understanding, better chemistry, a life that finally matches the movie playing in their head. But fantasies don't survive contact with real life. The newness eventually loses its shine. Those butterflies stop showing up on command. And when the sparkle fades, the mind starts doing something automatic. It begins measuring the present against the past. Suddenly, that stability she found suffocating feels like something valuable. That predictability she complained about now looks like peace. The person she dismissed as ordinary suddenly seems impossible to duplicate. This happens behind closed doors more often than anyone admits. Picture one scenario. 3 years together ended because she sensed something vital was missing. Within weeks, she had already latched on to someone new. The man she discarded didn't beg for explanations. He didn't craft emotional appeals or monitor her social media like a detective. He didn't position himself as available whenever she might need him. He vanished from her radar completely. Instead of chasing what left, he rebuilt what remained. The gym became his second home again. His career received the attention it had been starving for. Goals that collected dust during the relationship suddenly became priorities. His entire existence reorganized around his own evolution. Months dissolved into seasons. Then one ordinary evening, his phone glowed with her name. That simple question about how life was treating him. The timing revealed everything. By then, that shiny new relationship she expected to be everything had already dimmed into something disappointingly average.
The excitement she chased had evaporated like morning fog. When extraordinary turns mundane, when reality replaces fantasy, people instinctively start glancing backward at what they abandoned. She wasn't reaching out because she realized she loved him. She was reaching out because she finally realized what she lost.
Here's the twist that catches everyone off guard. When they finally circle back, they're searching for a ghost, someone who vanished the moment they walked out that door. Another story follows identical footprints. A relationship crumbled because everything felt too predictable. Nothing was technically broken. The engine still ran, but the excitement had leaked out somewhere along the way. She craved adventure and spontaneity. Staying felt like settling, so she chose the unknown over the familiar. For months afterward, he tortured himself with invisible questions. What could he have done differently? Which moment was the turning point? Where exactly did things start dying? He replayed arguments like crime scene footage, analyzed text messages searching for hidden clues. The past became a prison he couldn't escape. Then something unexpected happened. Exhaustion replaced obsession. He grew tired of living inside memories that only brought pain. So he made a choice. Stop looking backward, start building forward. A career opportunity materialized from nowhere, the kind of chance that demands complete focus. He grabbed it with both hands. His body transformed through consistent discipline and relentless effort. New faces entered his world. Fresh conversations replaced stale memories. His social circle expanded beyond recognition. The man who existed during that relationship slowly dissolved. Someone entirely different emerged from the wreckage. Almost a full year passed. Then her name appeared on his screen. Casual words hiding curious intentions, acting like 12 months meant nothing at all. But she miscalculated something critical. The person she remembered no longer occupied that body. The life she abandoned had been demolished and rebuilt from scratch. She came back expecting the familiar comfort of the past. Instead, she discovered a stranger wearing a familiar face. And this reveals the hidden truth buried beneath these situations. When someone decides you're not worthy and disappears, don't waste precious months campaigning for their return. Let them carry whatever story they invented. Let them believe whatever justifies their exit. Your single responsibility is constructing an existence so magnetic that one departure doesn't trigger complete collapse. Yes, sometimes people boomerang back into your atmosphere. Sometimes distance teaches lessons that closeness never could. Sometimes that greener grass reveals itself as painted concrete. But genuine transformation changes the entire equation. By the time they resurface, your attention is already invested elsewhere. Your energy flows toward new horizons. The rearview mirror holds no power over you anymore. No bitterness poisons your thoughts, no anger clouds your judgment. You're simply occupied creating something meaningful, occupied becoming someone who never needed their return to feel whole. Sometimes that's the perfect conclusion. Not reconciliation, not reunion, just you moving forward so completely that backwards stops existing as an option. So let them leave. Let them believe they're upgrading, and then upgrade yourself so thoroughly that if they ever look back, they won't even recognize what they're looking at. If this hit different, subscribe to Brainify Guy, because we're just getting started on the truths nobody else wants to say out loud. Hit that button. You'll thank yourself later.